Well, hey there, Fox family. I'm Dusty. This is Fox Holler Homestead, and as you can see, I'm sitting on the porch swing, my grandpa's old porch swing, and this right behind me, for anybody that's new that hasn't been following us for a long time, this is the fox den. This was the first structure that we actually got up on the property. Now, it came as a complete shell, and there was nothing inside other than spray foam and what have you. And you can go back and check out those videos, but the fox den is, it's a comforting little place that has a lot of my grandpa's old tools, a lot of antiques, logging equipment, and it's got a wood-burning fireplace in there. And I hope that I really hope that you guys continue following us along this journey, and we have nothing but really cool stuff to share, and especially when it concerns the fox den. But there's a couple things that I wanted to talk to you guys, actually show you guys, that's on the property that I haven't shown you yet. And we're going to take a walk through the woods a little bit farther away from the fox den, where we're going to potentially, or where we're going to build our house. Now, we have 9 acres, and the spot that we're sitting on right now is the farthest to the west. Now, the build site is actually going to be probably about 5-6 acres over. And once we clear, we have loggers coming in, and those loggers are going to widen the road and to make it accessible for their trucks. But the only logging that we're going to do is very, very minimalistic, and it's going to be our continuing our driveway from where it ends right now over to the build site, and then we'll clear about 1.5 acres for the home. Now, the rest of this forest, we want it to stay as beautiful and just amazing as it is right now. And there's very specific things that Regina and I have found on this property that we really want to share with you. So I'll stop talking your ear off, and let's get to it. So I'm going to show you a few things. As you can see on these trees, there's pink ribbons on there. Our existing driveway actually ends right here where the boat is, and our driveway from that point is going to continue, and we've marked all the trees that we're going to harvest. And as we walk up this trail, we'll be able to see more and more. That will give you a basic idea. And I'm not going to look at every single tree, but you can see a lot of these cedars are just, it's Western Red Cedar. And I mean, I really wish that we didn't have to do that we didn't have to log, because we'd just like to keep the trees as is. But this is something that is going to help us monetarily, and help us with drilling the well for the house, because we won't be hooked up to city water. But here's another thing I wanted to show you guys. A little creek. This was one of the very first things that the kids and I built when we first got the property. But let's continue on. So I'm going to stop right on this part of the path. Now, the driveway continues to go out that way, and it weaves around. There's going to be a couple other trees that come down, and then there's a double ribbon. That double ribbon is where you take a right, and from that point it starts to open up that 1.5 acres, and that's where we're actually going to do the build site. But I'm going to take a different way, which was the original trail that when Regina and I and the kids actually came out here. There was one little trail that came off to the side, and as you can see, it's a pathway right here. Now, if you look at a lot of these beautiful trees that are staying here, I mean, look at that. A Western Red Cedar. There's a clump of 3 right there, and just amazingly beautiful. Got an old stump with a hemlock growing out of it. Let's continue on. So from this point right here, and I know it's kind of an odd perspective because you're watching a video, but from this point here, remember where I was talking about the double ribbon? The double ribbon is way over that way. And from that point, all of this, as you see, this will be open. And again, the property still goes over, I'm gonna say another 3 acres over that way, or over to the east. And then what it actually does, well, anyway, all these trees in here are going to be brought down, and this is basically where we're going to build our house. And let's see. Yeah, so when we were out here first, we first started coming out here, we actually found a big old pile of bear scat, like a big pile of bear scat. It was towards the end of last summer, and we actually have black bear out here, so constantly got to watch out. But so the front, basically our front yard is going to look out over here, and this is directly, we have a southern exposure, so off in the east the sun will rise up, come over, and come down. And what's cool is that I, as a climber, a tree climber, I'm going to take a lot of these trees and limb them up. I'm going to leave that stump right there, leave all these trees, but like I said, I'm going to limb them up so that will give us a better view, so it's not so obscured and blocked. And right behind that, you can actually see up on the hill up there, that is Tiger Mountain. And it's going to be amazing to be able to see, have a view like that of Tiger Mountain. And especially in the wintertime, man, when it snows, all of the evergreens out there, the fir and hemlock and pine and cedar are just, it is heavenly beautiful in consideration to seeing all the snow on it, and it's just so peaceful and quiet. And so but as you can see, as we walk over a little bit farther, these are all game tracks in here. The property drops down, comes over, and it drops down there. Now, it's about, I think we figured it out, it's about a 46-foot elevation drop, and then it opens up. There's another 3 acres down here. Now, this stand, this specific or particular stand, is a very young stand of young alders. There's some fir, hemlock in there, but for the most part, it's a very, very young stand, which means something, or at some point in time, I don't know if they either logged down there, but it wasn't, when I say stand, that's just a group of trees that are very young. Now we go to other parts of the property where there's specific stands where we have like second generation old growth trees that are a couple hundred years old. But what we'll do is I'm going to build a road that goes around the edge over here, comes down, and then down in here I will clear all that area out, and we'd like to put apple trees, pear trees, cherry trees, you know, fruit trees, and then we also want to raise bees, which I think is just going to be amazing. But also, when I was younger, my great-grandparents homesteaded up in towards Mount Rainier, and across the street they had a root cellar, and it was dug into the bank, and they had old wooden log beams as a structure underneath the ground, and they slowly dug, put the beam structure there, dug in more beam structure, so on and so forth, until they got deep enough. And I want to do basically the same thing on the slope. So yeah, let's keep going. So you can see this burl, this big burl right here on a hemlock. I think that's really cool, and we might end up taking this down. And if we do take it down, I definitely want to get that burl. If you've ever seen burl wood or tables or just beautiful designs in them, I'd like to make a table of, or something cool. but so now we are coming up on Old Ben, and you ask, Dusty, what is Old Ben? You got all this stuff out here. What is Old Ben? Well, let me show you what Old Ben is. Old Ben is a Western Red Cedar tree, and I just think it's one of the most amazing trees out here. I mean, there's some really cool trees, but Old Ben is a really, really cool tree. Now, we're probably gonna end up doing a zip line or something from there, but check this out. Tell me that's not awesome. It's Old Ben because it's bent. So, if you didn't figure that out. But check it out. We can actually walk out here and get an idea of the size of this tree. And it's something that I like to come out here and just sit on this tree, lean up against it, and just cool. Look at all the buds coming out. All the new growth. That's so exciting. The next tree that I'm going to show you guys, if you haven't seen, a lot of our new subscribers that haven't seen a lot of the past videos, we did a video about invasive species, and one of the trees that it was attacking was this tree that we hold very, very dear to us, and we call it the lovers. And the reason why, it's a giant maple tree, and well, I don't need to explain why. You can check it out yourself. Can anybody figure out why we call it the lovers? If you can figure out why we call it the lovers, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section. Tell us why. Looks like the skunkweed are coming out. That yellow flower right there, and right over there's a couple of them. You can imagine why they call it skunkweed. I think that's one of the coolest stumps that we have on the property. There's so many cool ones, but that is by far my favorite. It's a old Western Red Cedar stump with a hemlock, a couple hemlocks, but one specific growing out the top of it. And all of this is all wetlands, marsh down there. So I am not gonna walk down there. It is deep mud. And there's the RV over there. Another Western Red Cedar stump. Now, a lot of these were old growth trees that were logged probably around the early 1900s, and you can tell because these notches in the side, and the notches were for springboards, which now today's logging, they wouldn't actually climb up that high and cut the tree. They actually cut it as close to the base, or somewhat as close to the base as possible, so that they get the most wood or the most benefit out of the tree. But back in the day, what they recognized was they would climb up, notch out these, cut out these notches in the side of the tree, and they'd take a board that had a little metal end on it, that had a little hook on it, stick that board in there, stick it up on top, and then put pressure on it. You could stand up on top, and then you could see that they had them on this side, and then there's ones on the other side. And they take their saws and cut the tree down. The reason why is because the tree down at the bottom, it mushrooms out, and it was a lot harder, it was a lot more labor intensive, and again, they didn't think too much about conserving or using most of that wood. They wanted to get to where it was a pretty fairly even size. So there's the fox den. You see the creek that runs all the way through here, and this bridge is a natural bridge. It's an old log that who knows how long ago, probably 100+ years ago, probably a couple 100 years ago, who knows, that fell and turned into a bridge. And there you go. Again, this is not the whole property. This was just kind of a quick walk around, but I wanted to share a couple of those things with specifically a lot of the new people that are just joining us. We have nothing but love. We have nothing but humbleness for all the support that you guys have given us and all the new subscribers. And thank you guys so much for each and every one of you for becoming a part of the Fox family. We are completely honored to have you, and I mean, when it comes to this, it's really hard for me to find words, which normally I don't have a problem talking, but again, it's we got nothing but love for each and every one of you guys out there. We send nothing but blessings and prayers to each and every one of you, all of your family members. We hope nothing but the best, and we thank you so much for joining us on this journey. And if you're just tuning in and this is the first video that you see, go ahead and check out some of our other videos. I'm not really exactly how to stick them up here. A lot of these creators stick them up here. I am not that technically advanced, but I'll figure it out at some point. But that's not what's most important. What's most important is the fact that you guys are joining us on this journey, and we've got nothing but love. And I know that I constantly repeat myself when it comes to that, but I do it because that's exactly how I feel. And if this is something new to you, go ahead and hit that like button. Each and every one of you guys, please hit the like button. It helps put us back out there and share this journey with more people. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and come join the Fox family. And until next time, I'm Dusty. This is Fox Holler Homestead. And thank you guys so much. Sincerely, thank you. We'll see you soon.